Well, hey guys, thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to do something just a little bit different. I am on the verge of taking the kayak out for its maiden voyage. However, it won't be today, it's going to be tomorrow, and I'm afraid I won't have enough time to actually get the video edited. So I'm going to do something a little bit different, and I'm going to do a helpful tips video and give you 3 of the most helpful tips I've ever found just through dumb experience and luck, as far as to help you organize your tackle and your gear on the water in your kayak. Tip number 1, the drop shot. Everybody is familiar with the Dropshot Rig and its bass catching abilities. If you don't know what a drop shot is, Google it and find people who are better experts at it than me. But basically it is a finesse hook with a, some kind of soft plastic with a weight at the bottom. It catches bass like crazy. The issue is when you put the thing up and you have it in your boat, the weight also catches everything in your boat. Until now. If you ever look at my boat when I'm out on the water, you will find that I always have one of these. Probably multiple of these all over the kayak. I got them like in my pockets. I got them, on the little side, on the bait holders. And that's because whenever I fish the drop shot, I want to spend more time fishing and not as much time untangling my lines, which is why you put that there. Look at that, genius. And then it's ready for you. So that way it's not tangling up your rods. You can spend more time fishing and less time untangling. How about that? That's tip number 1. Tip number 2. Whenever you're in a kayak, space is always at a premium. By that, you're not like on a bass boat where you can carry 30 rods, each one of them set up to do a different thing. You're basically limited at most maybe 8 rods. I usually take about 6 or 7. And in doing so, I have to have my rods set up so I can do multiple things with them. And so I'm always interchanging lures. And the problem is I have a lot of the same combos while I'm out on the water. And I, for the life of me, can never remember what rod has what gear and what line on each rod. Until now. You will now find every one of my rods has a piece of white duct tape with a label on it. So now I know, hey, which rod has 12-pound fluoro and which one has 12-pound mono. Well, this is my 12-pound mono rod. Even though the rod and reel is the exact same thing, I can now tell at a glance what rod has what line on it. So, work smarter, not harder. Label your rods with what kind of line it is. And believe it or not, especially, it's been so long since I went on the water that I actually don't know what I usually use on my rods and reels. It's the time of year when I'm having to swap out all my line for the year. Now I know, thanks to my marker. Tip number 2. Tip number 3. Look at that. That's genius. You want to know what this is? It is a number 17 O-ring. Basically, this is like a plumbing fixture fitting that you can get at Home Depot. It's like right by the sinks. And you may ask what I use that for. And it's this bad boy. The A-Rig absolutely catches a ton of fish, but much like the drop shot, it can create absolute havoc in your boat. You've got so many hooks and lines and lures on this thing that you're basically tangled up the whole time. You fish the A-Rig for a little bit, you put it up and you look back, and this thing has managed to tangle up every rod and reel in your entire boat. Until now. And I also use a snap swivel. I use that rubber O-ring, put it over the head of the A-Rig, use the snap swivel like that. I actually fish it like that with the O-ring on, and then what happens is when you're ready to put away, much like a prophylactic, you just roll the thing down to the tip And man, look at that. Now you don't have hooks hooking into everything in your boat. It stays out of the way until you're ready to fish again. Take it off, unroll the thing, ready to rock and roll. Rubber O-ring. Visit your local Home Depot or Lowe's for rubber O-rings. That is tip number 3. Well, guys, I'm going to wrap up this episode. As always, if you'd like to know anything about what I talked about, you can look down in the description box. I'm going to leave some additional information down there. But while you're there, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. The channel is updated every week with new fishing content and new fishing adventures. So, hopefully you can use these helpful tips. I got a lot of stuff yet to get ready. Yeah, I'm running out of daylight. So, I'll be seeing you next week. This is Josh, and this is Abide Fishing.